welcome fellow digital soldiers to True Reporting. It is the 27th of July, and on today's podcast, we will be covering a story that backs up what I went over the other day on my last podcast, speaking about a secret room in one of the rides at Disney World. And this gentleman was a security guard, a high-up security guard, pretty much make sure that there's no terrorists plotting, so on and so forth, missing person or missing children. And he basically found a room hidden behind a steel door, and I found an article exactly matching up with his story. Also, we will be going over some pictures of parts in different Disney movies that I find to be grotesque, very disturbing, and also an article describing that Disney owns a porn website. They own shared business with them, and it just adds on and on. We're just piling on and all of how gross this company truly is. But before we do so, my friends, would you please welcome my new sponsor, MyPatriotSupply.com. Hey guys. These natural disasters and geoengineered storms are nothing to play around with. People are never prepared before or even after these types of situations, but you can prepare now. I trust and use My Patriot Supply for my food storage, and you should too. You can save $62 right now off the regular price of this 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithtruereporting.com. It includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years in storage, and My Patriot Supply ships fast and discreetly right to your door. Act now so you know you are prepared, and save $62 with preparewithtruereporting.com. That's preparewithtruereporting.com. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So this is an article coming from 2017, Secret Bedroom Discovered at Epcot's Land Pavilion. I went over a podcast the other day, and this is just validation for it. The story was from about 4 or 5 years ago. A gentleman who was high up in security basically used key codes to get in to behind a steel door, found a lot of basically children's furniture and so on and so forth. Very strange, eerie rooms where people were not allowed to go. And a gentleman by the name of Opie has sent me this article that I've never seen before, and it ties everything in. It just validates it. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll also get into some images a little later. So it says here, and this is actually, before I start, this is actually the home that the guy was talking about in the last podcast, and I will link that video in the description box below. Moving forward, I know the whole idea of a secret bedroom highly intrigues some of you. Never mind one at Epcot. I'm not sure what type of person gets intrigued by secret bedrooms. I guess you. In case you're wondering if it's a fancy guest room like in the Cinderella Castle suite, the answer is no. You can't stay there. To the best of my knowledge, no one has ever stayed there, not even a card walker. So that adds to the people who carry the cards. Remember, that gentleman said that there's not even an entryway into that bedroom, which is very strange. So obviously there's one that's hidden. And if you're the type that likes the idea of a secret bedroom for, shall we say, less Disney reasons, it's off limits for that too, unless you're a good climber. The secret bedroom is, believe it or not, part of the Living with the Land boat ride. It has existed since day one. But the reason I never noticed it before is because it's not visible from the ride at all. An early model of the boat ride. Note that the actual ride is a mirror image of this layout. So basically you can see that this is a giant image, pretty much an early model of it, right? To get a glimpse into this fully themed, highly immersive, and wonderful environment, you have to plunk down $35 plus tip for the character dinner at the Garden Grill restaurant. This is not something I do often. However, last Sunday we decided to go to the Garden Grill for the first time in maybe 15 years, and I came face to face with the secret bedroom. As you probably know, the Garden Grill is unique in the whole restaurant is constantly rotating on a giant turntable. When Epcot Center first opened, the restaurant was called The Good Turn, which seems like a more fitting name. Thankfully, Disney changed it to something much more bland to match the food. Hardy har har, right? To double down on clever restaurant gimmicks, the Garden Grill actually overlooks several scenes from the Living with the Land boat ride. To this day, I still remember the elegant phrasing used by Harry and Abrams in his classic book, Walt Disney's Epcot Center. Where else can you have a, in quote, prairie with your prime rib, dessert with your dessert, right? Delicious, we see here, and this is the desert he was talking about. In practice, the rainforest area comes first, followed by the desert, prairie, and finally the American farm, complete with a large-scale farmhouse. From the boat ride, as you float by the farmhouse, you can see the dog barking from the porch, the rooster crowing from the mailbox, and if you happen to look up, parkeologists emptying their wallets in an average restaurant for a couple of hasty photos with a disinterested duo of Chip and Dale. And if you think of yesterday, guys, when I released the other podcast, it just seems as though someone has almost dug into this. You know, they've actually gone to this place looking for this particular room. Very strange. So obviously it's all lining up to be true. I believed it when I read this yesterday, right? In this lighting, it looks like the house from Halloween, and this is the house that they are talking about. There it is, a full-on themed secret bedroom right there in the ride. The window in the A-frame is not really visible either from the ride or the restaurant, but you can see lights burning in there. The window on the left side of the house directly faces the restaurant. Let's zoom in. Just a slice of Americana and a weather vane that looks like it might slice someone up in a good horror movie. So, pretty much what he says is you can't even barely see into this place, into this bedroom, without it facing perfectly the restaurant for about 20 to 30 seconds. That's why he says, let's zoom in. It's got a quilt on the bed, a nice antique globe in the corner, and a few gas lights burning. There's a model train on the nightstand, and behind it is a tennis racket, a bowling pin, Negan's barbed wire bat, Lucille. Whatever it is, it's a lot of props. It's almost like Disney is giving tours in there, like with Walt's fire station apartment. The only difference is this room seems to be set up solely for guests who are more interested in taking pictures with Pluto. An illuminated, barely glimpsed secret bedroom that might enter your peripheral vision for half a minute as you rotate past from 15 feet away. So guys, another thing I want to add in off the cuff. I don't think this person knows of what Disney is capable of doing, what these monsters are doing, Epstein, spirit cooking, child trafficking, so on and so forth. I think this person is just interested in the fact that there's a secret bedroom and we just know a little bit more of what's going on. And I can tell you from experience, literally no one cares. A few people didn't mind glancing out at the prairie buffalo for a second or two, but no one else in the restaurant could be bothered to study the tiny little window in the side of the old farmhouse. It says here, there must be a cast member door in there somewhere. I'm sure they have to keep the thing dusted. Or maybe they reserve it for emissaries of the Nestle Corporation. But now that you know it's there, aren't you dying to go inside? Yeah, dying, all right. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, and this is another article I wanted to jump into. This is from 2018. And I checked on Snopes to see if they were going to say if this was fake. Because if they said it was fake, I knew it was true because Snopes is a joke. And the title is Disney Executives Pleased to Announce Acquisitions of Pornhub. That's one of the biggest, if not the biggest porn site in the world. And Disney executives are pleased to announce an acquisition of it, like they own a share of it, right? Isn't that so disturbing? So again, I checked Snopes. It said it was false, so there must be some truth to this rather. Let's go ahead and just touch on this a little bit. Montreal expanding their media streaming portfolio. Disney executives announced Tuesday that the company has acquired Canadian adult entertainment site Pornhub. The entertainment behemoth, which has recently acquired Marvel Entertainment, Lucasfilm, and plans to purchase Fox properties, will purchase Pornhub by the end of the year. The XXX service, which boasts over 5.5 million videos on their site, will be incorporated into Disney's suite of existing properties. Oh my God. This is part of our plan to expand our streaming capabilities, said Dalton Sterling, the Vice President of Market Strategy, in a call to shareholders. adding that it will allow them to leverage existing properties like Star Wars, Marvel, and the original cartoon characters to create franchise-specific content that were thus far was left to the fans to create. That was a terrible sentence. This is what the online world was made of, and it would be unfair to our shareholders not to get a part of the action. Plus, we basically have an unshakable hold on the entire teen boy market. Jesus. Plans for the acquisition involve opening up the Marvel Cinematic Universe to insert Pornhub celebrities like Jenna Jameson and James Dean, who will in turn insert themselves into several popular characters. Disney's planned incorporation of the 20th Century Fox X-Men's franchise into the MCU will also be recast with the stars of X-Men, a porn parody, as both a cost-saving and synergistic measure. Above all, we assure customers that the Pornhub Cinematic Universe will cross over both ways, assured Sterling. So, what does this have to do with anything? This means that they are capable of doing Disney characters doing porn. They can do X-Men, they can do Marvel, they can do Lucasfilm, they can do anything to bring in a lower aged group of women and boys, girls and boys, that come in there and go to Pornhub because it's free. And to be honest, that's the whole psyop. The psyop of porn being free on our internet services is unbelievable. It's unbelievable that anyone could just click anything and it will go right to porn. You could be 5 years old, you could be 85 years old. It doesn't matter. That's sickening. It breaks up families. It does a lot of harm to men. It does a lot of harm to women. A lot of trafficking in porn too, if you research that. My friends, let's go ahead and look into some pictures that are disturbing that will round off the podcast. This is actually from digital screenshots from the movies, and let's check it out real quick. So I don't know. I think this movie is called Monsters, Inc., I believe, and you can see here mommy having sex with daddy right here. This is in this picture. I mean, this is right in the movie. You can look at it. It's just a still from the movie. People know what's going on. Then we can see here, just a coincidence. Now go back to sleep, right? Go back to sleep. Get lulled back to sleep by Disney movies, so on and so forth. We can obviously, what this is a phallus out of Minnie's dress. Absolutely disturbing. Just letting you know that these people are sick. And this goes on and on and on. Peter Pan right here, right? Why do they draw it in there? It's subconscious, right? It's almost like subliminal messaging that they throw in there into these movies. And then we can see here, Walt Disney was almost known to be a Nazi. And we can see here the pattern on one of the Dalmatians, the female Dalmatian dog right here. Very disturbing, guys. You tell me what these people were capable of doing. And to round off the podcast, we see here, this was floating around here very recently. Mickey in reverse is wicked. And there you have it. I feel a lot more is going to be coming out here about Disney connected with Epstein. I've covered this with the cruise line ships that are going actually to the Little St. James Island. I mean, it's all there. It's all right in front of our faces. It's just up to YouTubers and for people on Twitter to get out the information, because we are the news now. Guys, if you found this informative, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting, and don't forget to leave a like. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. You can donate to this channel by going to my PayPal, Patreon, and we also have a P.O. box. All the links are in the description box below. We also have True Reporting merch that's been out for a couple weeks. It's doing quite well, so grab yourself some and represent it. You can send me a picture on Twitter of you wearing it, and I'll retweet it out. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. Always show your support and love, and it will be reciprocated. Trust me. Guys, be loving and kind to each other, and I will speak with you very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.